please. Yeah, Kathy, what's up?
Oh, you're doing your podcast, aren't you?
Yeah, well, right now you're on camera. Here's Kathy.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you really are. That is recorded, isn't it? Don't you have that on?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. I'd use it.
All right. How's everybody doing? Another week of the Doe and 5-0 show. As you can see, it's Election Day. Are you excited about Election Day? Well, some of you are, so we thought we'd take the show in front of our local county courthouse here in Peru, Indiana. Beautiful Miami County Courthouse.
It's a nice courthouse.
Nice courthouse. We've got, three people running on the mayoral ticket this year, so we won't know who wins that until well after the show is taped later this evening, but good luck to all the candidates and their endeavors to become the candidate for their political party going into the fall. So
why would they want to do that?
Hey, some people have political aspirations. I'm definitely not one of those people.
Neither am I.
What do you mean? You're running for president.
Well, yeah, but that's different.
Oh.
I know these people.
Ah.
If you're mayor, maybe half the people are going to like you.
And how many people do you think is going to like you if you become president?
All of them.
All right, well, we appreciate everybody tuning in this week.
And we apologize.
We apologize for those of you that have stuck around for the last, I think this is our 11th show already, Joe.
Wow.
So things are moving right along.
Think anyone listened to all of them?
I don't know.
Have you? Well,
I
you have to.
I have to.
Yeah.
I have to not only sit through this show, but then I have to sit through it again to edit it before we put it out. So
Oh, Lordy.
you people should feel sorry for me.
Everyone should pray for Lee.
I do appreciate everybody tuning in. It's a new week. Today is the 7th. We're recording this on May 7th. It's May already.
Yeah.
We're close to being halfway through May already. So big month for my lucky bride. She gets Mother's Day, our anniversary, and her birthday are all in May. She gets all the goodies wrapped into the 1 month.
And
so.
it's Nurses Appreciation Week too, isn't it?
Yeah, Nurses Appreciation Week.
Now, is that for all nurses or?
So Joe's poking the bear a little bit here. I run the social media for our local PD, and I posted an appreciation for all the nurses out there. And I mean, it was mostly well received. It was just a kind gesture, I thought.
Right.
And things spiraled out to where some people were sending some not so nice messages to our inbox and making some public comments about how I didn't recognize LPNs, nurse practitioners, anything that ended with an N that I've never heard of, ESPN, CNN, MSNBC, CNN. I mean, come on, people. It was just meant to be a nice gesture.
So he meant all nurses.
I meant all nurses.
I
didn't mean for anyone to feel excluded. Then I got, apparently it's Teacher Appreciation Week and
It is.
Correctional Officers Appreciation Week, and
I didn't know that.
It's Extra Cheese on Your Big Mac Week. And
Oh, I love that week.
so for everybody that's got some type of special day out there, congratulations. And I'm sorry if I
Godspeed.
did not give you the proper shout out in social media land. My bad. Moving on before we get any more out of control out of that, let's go ahead and kick off with some news stories. Joe, you excited?
I am. I always am.
Let's go ahead and start with our favorite state for the show.
Florida.
Florida comes in handy for us every single week. They never fail to disappoint. We had a show, out of the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office, a Florida woman was outdone in the local Florida man stories that they apparently have in this area. This is in Charlotte County, Florida. I'm not sure where that is. But according to the NBC affiliate over there, they pulled over a lady at 3:15 a.m. 22-year-old man driving told deputies that he and the woman were coming from an underpass under the oil well road where they were trying to collect frogs and snakes. The deputy gave the driver a warning for their stop sign violation and asked to see what wildlife they had collected to make sure they didn't have anything they weren't supposed to. The woman then pulled an alligator out of her pants, Joe.
Out of her pants?
Out of her pants.
What the hell? I'm looking for a picture.
Unfortunately, there's no picture.
What?
But the local officers turned that over to the local Florida Fish and Wildlife Conservation officers for further investigation.
All right.
I've pulled some unique things out of people's pants over the years. Never an alligator.
That could be a whole nother show, couldn't it?
That's probably not show appropriate.
Okay.
Some of the things.
Maybe later on.
I even had a unique experience today, but I won't talk about that. So. I thought this was fake, this next story, and I looked it up, and this is actually real. Burger King is taking on McDonald's with a range of unhappy meals. Joe.
Unhappy meals.
The options include the pissed meal, the blue meal, the salty meal, the yas meal, and the DGAF meal for I don't give a...
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
So Burger King has launched a range of burger meals that focus on real people's moods. The fast food chain introduced a range of box meals it's calling the Real Meal Deal, including the pissed meal, blue meal, salty meal, yas meal, and I don't give a F meal as part of Mental Health Awareness Month in May. The deal includes a Whopper sandwich, French fries, and a drink.
Well,
Burger King says they want you to feel your way, as opposed to McDonald's happy meals. Although I rarely ever drive away from McDonald's happy.
but the meals aren't any different, though. They're just called something different.
It's just bringing attention to Mental Health Awareness Month, apparently.
They want us to be unhappy?
They want you to buy that I don't give a meal.
Why?
Hey, that's what their PR people are doing, man. They're bringing attention.
Burger King, your stuff's pretty good. Don't be stupid. Stop it.
Apparently, they took quite a beating on Twitter because people don't want to be told how to feel. Although Burger King is saying we're trying to tell you to feel however you want with their plethora of meals of. It sounds like sad and pissed
They
off.
sound like terrible meals. Why would I?
I guess if you're in a good mood, go to McDonald's. If you're in a not so good mood, go to Burger King.
Well, if you're in a good mood and you go to McDonald's, you'll leave.
And if you
not.
and if you're really hungry and you want to leave somewhere happy, just don't go to a fast food place at all. Go
Yes.
So, Joe likes a place there. What's that place called? Wabash you like so much, Joe? The restaurant.
20s restaurant.
It's a 20s restaurant.
Yes.
I've never been there.
It's in Charlie Creek.
Yeah.
And it's very good. The atmosphere is amazing, and the food is really good, and the service is really good. So I recommend.
It's crazy to me because
I can't wear my sweats in there though.
These places talk about, like the fast food restaurants, they talk about value meals all the time. They're pushing the value. Even this Burger King promotion they're doing, they call it a value meal, but. I mean, honestly, if you buy a value meal from McDonald's, Burger King, or wherever, have you noticed how expensive some of those quote unquote value meals have gotten? I mean, as opposed to going and sitting. I mean, I know the place you go into is a little bit more upscale, but say you want to go get a steak dinner at like a Roadhouse or an Outback or something like that. How much more are you really paying for that steak dinner as opposed to a number 7 value meal from such and such restaurant? Maybe a few bucks.
Yeah, and I'd rather have the steak meal.
And I'd rather have the sit-down meal with the good service and the atmosphere and stuff. So, I mean, I know sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. You gotta eat fast, especially in my case when I've got 100 kids going 100 different directions every day.
It's just 100 now.
It's just 100. It changes every week.
It was thousands last
For
week.
the two of you that follow, yeah, you hear that different number every week. But Sarah and I have talked about that quite a bit. Is it
really that much cheaper
worth
to get that?
Right. I don't think it is. And we've actually, like, if we go through McDonald's, we've actually found it's cheaper to not, or anywhere really, but say using McDonald's as an example, it's almost cheaper to piece things together from like the dollar menu or something as opposed to the value meal.
That brings something up, and I won't mention the name of the restaurant because I really like the restaurant. But if let's say I want to get 4, I don't even know if I should say what they are because I do like the restaurant. I don't want them dog for it. But if I get 4 of a certain thing, it's $1. But if I get 6, it's $1.89. Now, do the math quickly in your heads, everybody. That's more than a quarter a piece now. So it's more expensive. It's cheaper to get 2 4-piece than it is to get the 6-piece. I don't understand that.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if they take advantage of people that either don't pay attention or maybe just aren't very good at math.
Maybe the product is a little different than 6-piece. I never tried it.
No, they're the same.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's just
then I
people
don't
not
know.
paying attention. They think, oh, there's the value meal with the nuggets. That's what my kid wants, and that's what they get. But if you sit there and actually you break down the price, you kind of you can't scratch your head thinking that doesn't make any sense.
No, it didn't.
So I think a lot of those places are guilty of that. They kind of assume you're not going to pay attention or you're not any good at math. One of the two. I'm not any good at math, but I can still see that. Hey, that's kind of a ripoff. So you gotta kind of.
But it's not a rip. Even with this restaurant, it's not a rip off either way. It's just that it's cheaper one way.
Right.
So if you pay attention.
So just pay attention.
Right.
Save yourself a buck.
And McDonald's isn't bad, okay? They really aren't.
They're not. We're just using them as an example. I mean, they all do it. All those places do it. If you sit there and compare the value meal as opposed to breaking down the value meal versus maybe pulling it off a dollar menu or
Right.
something along, even breaking it off, depending on what you want, it's usually a bit cheaper to break it off into sections than it is to buy the whole value meal. So just food for thought for some of you that are paying attention. Go ahead and move on to the next topic. Elderly Melbourne couple received 20 kilos of drugs in wrong delivered parcel. 21-year-old Melbourne man has been charged after police seized a large quantity of the drug ice, which was incorrectly delivered to an elderly couple.
What is it?
Methamphetamine.
Okay.
Well, okay, we'll go with my theory last week. Buttafuoco was arrested and has since been charged with importing a marketable quantity of the border control drug. Police were contacted by the couple in Buttafuoco area after mistakenly signing a package containing several bags of white powder about 1 p.m. yesterday. Authorities allege the parcel contained about 20 grams of methamphetamine, carrying an estimated street value of $10 million.
Wow.
They were unsure. They asked each other if they ordered anything. So the detective, when you think about it, $10 million worth of drugs sent to the wrong address. That's quite incredible to comprehend that someone could be that sloppy. Investigators then raided an address in Marunda Terrace, seizing another 20 kilos of methamphetamine.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of a big oops to send to the wrong address, don't you think?
That seems not well thought out.
Yeah,
That's amazing how much drugs cost.
big money in illegal drugs. So
Donuts don't cost that much.
and they're much healthier for you, especially Joe's Donuts. People usually lose weight when they're on the donut.
They're
challenge,
good for you.
So
Trust me.
are you gonna make some keto donuts with them?
Keto donuts just for Russ.
Just for Russell
Just for Russ Tussey. And Julie Tussey.
and Julie Tussey. Your boy President Trump, attacked social media companies after recent Facebook bans.
Wait a minute. He's attacking the media?
No,
That's weird.
It's strange, isn't it? President Donald Trump criticized social media companies after Facebook banned a number of extremist figures, declaring that it was monitoring and watching closely. President Trump, who tweeted and retweeted, I know that you're surprised by that, complains Friday and Saturday that he would monitor the censorship.
Were you that address that package?
Maybe. A little stuff in the air there. Monitoring the American citizens on social media platforms. He was basically, this all comes after Facebook banned Louis Buttafuoco, Alex Jones, and other extremists, saying that they violated their ban on dangerous individuals. So basically, Facebook and Twitter have been, and this isn't really new news to me, I've seen it before, where they're suspending people's social media accounts. Most recently that I saw was James Woods. I'm sure you're familiar with some of his work. He was an actor.
Yeah.
He's been more of a political advocate here over the last couple of years. He's that'd be another good one for you to follow on Twitter because he was a tweet machine. But I think last week his account was suspended because he said something that Twitter didn't like. As we have,
Big Brother's watching.
as we have seen, Twitter and Facebook tend to lean one direction over the other in their political affiliation. So, if
You've had a lot of stuff taken off Facebook too, haven't you?
I have, because I run the social media page for our department. This has been several years ago, even before Trump became president.
Right.
I had posted something, and it wasn't really it wasn't political in nature, and I wasn't a pioneer by doing this. But a lot of departments every once in a while they would post their most wanted on their Facebook page.
Okay.
And I was requested to do that by the chief at the time. I did so, and within less than 24 hours, I got some hate mail from Facebook saying that violated their terms of usage, and they had suspended my account, which means I couldn't control the police department's Facebook account or my personal Facebook account. I was deactivated for like a week. So I started researching that a little bit more, and I still didn't see how that violated anything because, like I said, departments all across the country were doing this. This wasn't anything new or spectacular.
You were on their radar or something.
Yeah, I don't know. And I don't know if the site still exists. I'm sure it does, but there is or was a Facebook page called Cop Block, and the stuff that was
wait. Say it again.
Cop Block, COP. So Joe laughs, and it sounds funny, but you want to talk about some nasty, nasty propaganda. I mean, this page, their whole purpose is to run down law enforcement, and they would, and they probably still are. I haven't, like I said, I haven't tried to look up this page in a long, long time, but they were actually posting very graphic images of murdered police officers on their Facebook page.
Oh, nasty.
And so, I went ahead and went through the hoops and jumped. I feel like this is violating Facebook's terms of usage.
Yeah.
And I'm offended by this, blah, blah, blah. And they said it did not fit their criteria for violating their terms of use.
Oh, so that was
It's okay to promote such graphic and hateful images on Facebook like that, but you can't lean to the right and give your opinion, because that's not okay. So.
No.
Or you can't put people that are
because that was their right.
wanted felons on there. Basically, I got reported by this guy that I put his image on there and what he was wanted for.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it was nothing derogatory. It's nothing more than a typical wanted poster would be.
Well, it's what you'll see in the post office, or
right. You can pick up your local newspaper. You can see that stuff in some local newspapers. They'll put some wanted individuals in there, depending on where you live. It was nothing fancy or anything like that, but he reported me, and Facebook shut me down for a week. So.
No, is this going to be reported because we're talking about Facebook?
Yeah, it might be. They might not even see this next week. Well, we'll see. So, And if they shut me down, then F you, Facebook. I don't know.
Someplace else.
But yeah, you got to be careful about, I guess, and it's dumb that I have to say that, but if Facebook feels like you're leaning too far to the right, you're probably going to catch some attention you don't want. So.
I have some good friends that get put in time out a lot on Facebook.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So I don't really want to be the one that says be careful what you say, because it's a free country. You should be able to say whatever you want. But when it comes to your social media, you do kind of have to be careful.
Some people can say whatever they want.
Right. So let's move on to the next story.
Let's move on.
Tourist warned about Spanish beach cocktails containing human feces. We're back with some more.
Is this in Florida?
Well, let's see where this is.
Or McDonald's?
Okay, well, let's go through your article. I'm not sure where it's at.
Mexico.
Picture the scene. You're lying on the beach. The sun is beaming down. The sea breeze is balancing out the scorching temperatures.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Couldn't get much better until, what's that? A nice cold cocktail. Perfect. Everything for one thing. It's full of shit. No, not me. The cocktail. Well, this could be a reality in tourist hotspots such as Benidorm and Barcelona. So there we go.
Okay.
According to reports, it's been claimed that illegal vendors are serving up drinks using a beer that's stored in drains and fruit that's been washed in, yep, you heard it right, they're public toilets. Salespeople are allegedly flogging trayfuls of drinks such as sex on the beach and pina coladas to tourists, misleading them, saying that they're from nearby bars. It's been claimed that some of the people selling these cocktails even have their own uniform, because we all know that uniform equals legitimacy. Facebook page dedicated to the Spanish resort of Benidorm, a holiday maker, snapped at the seller saying, "I see the dodgy cocktail sellers are out and about today.
There's so many jokes I can play with the words on this one. Pina coladas.
Yeah. It goes on and on. But basically, they're washing the fruit in these island-type drinks in the public toilets.
Is that the only water supply? I mean, is this a vicious thing that they're doing? Is this, or is it just?
I'm just saying, if you travel to Barcelona sometime soon, you may avoid the alcoholic drinks.
Yeah, bottled water. Apparently, I
know they say that alcohol kills germs, but I mean, come on, that's pretty gross.
And they probably don't put a lot of alcohol in them. I'm kind of looking over your shoulder here, and I see that one with the nose.
Yeah.
What is that?
I don't even know what that was.
Okay, there. See it? See that?
Oh, we're gonna get to that too. So.
Oh my.
Another case of you can't fix stupid. Maybe I'm the stupid one. Student who drove away from court after being banned from the roads has been rejailed. University student who's banned from the roads has been jailed after he was captured driving away from his court just moments after the punishment was imposed by the judge. I'm not going to try and say that either. Botafogo was pictured by Manchester Evening News, so this is out of Manchester, getting into his Volkswagen Polo after leaving the Manchester Crown Court on the 1st of May. Just days later, he appeared before the Manchester and Salford Magistrates Court, where he claimed that he didn't understand his disqualification. Botafogo, who's in the middle of a business, finance, and accounting degree, so he's college educated, admitted to causing serious injury by dangerous driving on Wednesday. his case was adjourned for a report to be prepared before the sentencing. That Judge Timothy Smith put a verbal disqualification on him in place. So after he was giving this warning by the judge, don't get back on the roads until we determine, your...
He didn't understand that.
He didn't understand it, so
No.
he got in the car, and he sent the law enforcement, the law enforcement saw him get in the car and start to drive away, so they just picked him up, took him in front of the judge, and the judge threw him in jail. So, yeah, hey, if the judge says don't get back in the car, it's probably not a great idea to go in front of a place that looks like this and get in your car and try and drive away.
That didn't seem very smart.
No.
But he's educated.
Clearly.
Well, he's in the university. It didn't say that he graduated.
No.
Perhaps he's failing everything.
He's probably the class valedictorian.
He probably is.
So I had something similar to that. I had this incident a while back where an individual was taken to jail for, in Indiana it would be called like an invasion of privacy, so they violated a protective order.
Okay.
The subject was taken to jail, and within less than an hour had bonded out, and the person that he had violated the order with
Picked him up, right?
So, of course, somebody else had seen this whole thing go down because people like to follow the po-po around, and they called and said, hey, that guy that you're just taking to jail is bonded out, and I believe the person that he violated that order with is picking him up. So I found him and took him right back to jail. So, yeah, it's crazy how people don't take things seriously, and yeah, I don't know. If a judge says don't do something, it's best not to do it. You don't want to get on their bad sides because they can make life miserable for you.
Yeah,
So.
I would think that was bad. That is really attractive.
As you guys can see, I'm going to put the image up here on the screen. People are... We had talked about the testicle implants last week, which I know you were completely fascinated by.
I was baffled.
Now, most of us, guys anyway, tend to, you get older, you get hair in weird places, your nostrils, you trim them up.
It is the weirdest thing in the world.
Yeah, so you may lose it on your head, but you get it in other places, your ears, your nostrils. So apparently people are now giving themselves nostril extensions for some reason. Check out that nose hair. Is that not attractive or what?
That is disgusting.
For years, men and women have been trimming, waxing, and otherwise removing longer hairs poking out of their nostrils. But what would you say if I was to tell you the whole thing was unnecessary? Because actually, having super hairy nose holes is now desirable. So desirable, in fact, that some people are even giving themselves nose hair extensions.
It's not desirable. Don't do this.
I don't wonder how they even get it to flatten out like that. Are they using a wax?
Oh my Lord! Put that picture up there.
That's the one we're gonna. Well, maybe we'll go through a couple images and put them up there. So, yeah. So these people are getting extensions and putting nose hairs. As you can see,
It's disgusting.
this is disgusting. Why?
Yes.
Why is that attractive? Apparently, this is a thing in Denmark. So whether it finds its way to the United States or not, I don't know. Man, I hope not. That's just weird and disgusting.
I'm glad we touched on that.
Yeah,
It disturbed me when I saw
we
it.
bring you the serious news here.
Just the serious stuff.
Serious news. So. Where is that? Is it in England or something like that, where kind of the activists and radical liberal type types that like to? Did you see that? Maybe
Not that there's anything wrong with
no,
that.
but I'm just saying. But they don't shave the women won't shave their armpits, and then they
Oh,
start
yes.
dyeing them different colors and why?
United States and Europe are really the only countries that the women shave like that. When I was down in Central America, the women in the canal zone shaved, but if you were in the interior, you didn't. Most of Central and South America, they didn't. And the men would say, oh yeah, when a girl has that light hair on her legs and stuff, they found that very attractive. And we've just been programmed differently,
Right.
and we don't find that attractive.
Well, I mean, every country has their own fashions, I guess, and I guess in Denmark,
I don't know. We should find out why that started.
I don't think I want to know why that started.
I'm gonna look it up.
I'm sure you will. Moving on, Joe. Schools are now removing analog clocks because, that's right, students cannot read them.
Hey, you know what? They're in school. Let's teach them how to read them.
What do you remember about school when you were a young kid? Granted, the specifics were obviously a wide variety of subjects as you grow up, but one of the hallmarks for many kids has apparently become an outdated subject. Of course, digital clocks basically tell the time for you, but a unit or two reading on analog clocks is pretty standard for many school kids. Most kids learn how to read a clock in second or third grade, but apparently that's not a priority anymore, and kids are having a hard time reading those clocks, so everything's just going to go to digital.
Why? Why is it hard to learn how to read those? They're not gonna have to tie their shoes pretty soon because it's too hard. They don't do cursive anymore, do they?
Well, right. They kind of stopped doing that, and then I can't remember if it's something my kids brought home or if it's something I read in the news, but they're actually going to bring that back. They're going to bring back learning cursive back. I get times change. I understand that it was kind of fun because my grandfather, my mom's dad, was a pack rat. Of course, he threw nothing away. And I remember one time years ago, he had showed me a book that he had from when he was growing up, and the things that he had learned, back in the 20s and 30s when he was growing up. You look at it and you think, oh my God, he must have been a rocket scientist. But the type of math that they did, and they learned so many things that were life skill based. Type of farming stuff, and even the terminology they used kind of made you scratch your head. And you sit there and look at the stuff that these kids were learning, and you think, man. But that's why that generation, the greatest generation, according to our history books, right?
And them.
But these are the people that grew up to fought in World War II, and,
right.
and they made such a difference for our country to where we are today, and they did not have an easy life at all. But what they learned in school, they were life skills that they put, they used it for all their, basically their whole life.
Right.
And the thing. Okay. And that's why we're not live. So basically, anyway, my point is, my grandfather had, he had these little notes and stuff that he would have in these books and stuff that he was even still learning, or not learning, but things he would try to pass on to me. But anyway, and then you look at the stuff the kids learn today, and I get times have changed, and things are very electronically motivated now. Almost everything
Right.
you do has to do with some type of technology. They didn't have anything remotely close to that back then. But I guess my thing is now is what happens if the cell phone towers go down in some type of smart war, or
Isn't that what you do? I mean, if I were one of the leaders of a country and I want to attack another country, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I want to do, is take out their communications, take out any sort of
and
internet and stuff.
I've thought about that, and if you just sit back, if you go to a mall or you go to a restaurant where some kids are hanging out, and we've talked about this 100 times already, is their noses are buried in their phones or their computers.
Well, hell, Lee, when you come to the back of the bakery, most of our communication is like this.
It's because I'm doing research for the show usually.
Okay.
But no, I mean,
it's true.
You and I still have a conversation, but
Right.
it's, I kind of wonder, if, you're from another country and you're wanting to do some damage to the United States, why wouldn't you do something to take out the power grid?
You're right.
Because you're going to disable an entire generation. You're not going to disable Joe and I because we grew up without it, and we're going to figure out how to, self-sustain. But,
Especially me.
if we're old and decrepit and this war comes to our country, what's going to happen with it when the kids that are growing up now? Because I don't think they're going to know how to do
My
anything.
gosh, they can't work a register, make change.
They can't make change.
It is bad.
If they can't
Even
look up
Matt, you're probably familiar with this because you have younger kids.
Mhm.
But my wife's a kindergarten teacher, and I've seen the way they do math. They do math in kindergarten, which blows me away. And it's a complete different concept than what I learned, and I don't understand what they're doing.
Right.
And it's not better; it's different. And they don't teach. Now, when I talk to I talk to a lot of high school students. I'll say, well, do you take an accounting class? Do you take a business class? Yeah, they don't have that stuff.
Right.
They don't, and I understand about not, nobody uses checkbooks anymore except me and like 2 other people. But they should understand the register. They should understand the debits and the credits and stuff like that. And they're not being taught that anymore. But they're learning advanced calculus, which I got a secret for you guys. You'll never use it.
You know, 4 times I took algebra in high school. I still use algebra since then.
Actually, everything after your sophomore year, you're not going to use it.
Right, and then, you know, there's been a lot of debates about that for the, you know, when I was growing up, they were still teaching woodshop and home economics
And that's awesome.
and life skills type stuff.
Right.
And they don't really do that now. And I don't even know if wood shops exist in my school, my kids' school or not. I'm not really sure, I guess, but I've not heard anybody. I know my oldest never talked about anything like that or never brought anything home that he built or anything like that. So,
That's sad.
you know, if a smart mower would ever come, you're gonna have to have some basic life skills and how to do certain things for yourself. And if they can't, I guess my thing is if they can't look it up in Google or ask Siri or something like that how to fix something or how to do something, what are they gonna do? So,
Right. Even getting directions anymore. Everyone
right.
uses
How do you
their...
read a map? So,
Right. And I'd much rather have a map in front of me. I hate when my wife will use, what's that called for directions?
Well, there's a million apps out there you can use for directions. So whether you use your Maps app on your iPhone or Google Maps or Waze or something like that.
So we're going through a town we don't know, and I'm driving, it'll say, take a left in 200 feet.
Right.
Okay, I'm going 40 miles an hour. This is where your algebra comes in. Okay, I'm going 40 miles an hour and I'm heading east. And then how long would it take me to get 200 feet? There's 3 intersections. I don't know which one it is. Got cars right behind me. If I have a map, I can look. Okay, it's this third road, and I can look for that. But a lot of people don't even know how to read a map anymore.
Yeah. So, and I don't know. You know, even my kids, the vast majority of their schoolwork is done on either a tablet or a laptop. They really don't seem to even have that many textbooks anymore.
Do they know how to even write anymore? All their reports are...
You know, if my wife and I wanted to have like a secret code, we probably just could write in cursive and they'd probably be able to understand what we're saying. So.
Well, I never see them turn in homework. I mean, we had a lot of written
Right.
pages, so that you'd have an assignment for, you'd have to have 3 pages about this. Well, I'd write real big. You can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
But I don't see anyone ever writing anymore.
You know, and I'm not saying that this way's bad. I guess it's, you know, my oldest son. He just finished his freshman year of college, and he's extremely intelligent. And you know, he'll have me proofread his papers every once in a while, and I'll even look at it and think, damn, you know. he's very intelligent.
That's when you have to use Google. What the hell
that's
does that mean?
What does that word mean? So, but he's very good with you know. Just everything that he does. He you know, you can tell by his writing he's
He
intelligent.
seems like a good kid too.
He is, so, and he's kind of grown up with all the technology. So I mean, it's working for him. But then there's other people where you kind of look back that are learning the same way, and I guess you could say the same thing about textbooks. So I don't know. I think of that just from the, you know, us growing up with textbooks. I think it would be hard now to go back and relearn, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Or you can't, you know, because to me, I'm kind of visual, where I got to write some stuff out and kind of look at it and maybe write it out a few different ways before I can grasp it, depending on what the subject's about. And I guess when you can't do that, if you're staring at a computer screen or a tablet screen or something like that, and my kids have even said that about some, you know, some of them have had a hard time with their learning their math that way, because it's, you know, there's the equation on the laptop screen, and there's no example really.
Yeah, I had my textbook, and I could say, oh yeah, that was back here a little
Right.
bit, and I could kind of keep. I'll say, okay, that's how I did it, and I can go back and do that. But yeah, that would be harder.
I don't know. Pros and cons, like anything else, I guess. So I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next subject.
All right.
This is out of Lincoln, Nebraska. Lincoln police say Peter Jacobson suffered non-life-threatening injuries after he dropped his gun, went off, shooting him in his genitals. According to the LPD, police were called around 9 p.m. on Wednesday to an area hospital in report of a gunshot wound. Police say they contacted Jacobson, who suffered a non-life-threatening injury, and determined that he was walking in the 3300 block of Portia Street when he accidentally dropped his firearm, and it went off, striking him in his genitalia. How would you like to be walking down the street with your gun tucked in your waistband, and it drops to the ground and shoots you right in your testicles?
Are you asking how how I would like that?
I'm guessing he probably didn't have a valid permit by the looks at him either. But,
He didn't look like it, but maybe he did.
Maybe he did. Maybe we should give him the benefit of the doubt there. So, a couple more articles to touch on before we wrap
You
things
are-
up. I am on the struggle
you are
bus today.
jacked today.
I am. So, it's all that methamphetamine I got in the mail this morning. So.
Well, and there's another one
Here's
for
another
you.
good article for you.
Did you have any
Cocaine.
shrimp today?
I did have some shrimp yesterday. It was really good. Coconut shrimp. Have you ever had coconut shrimp? I know you're a big shrimp eater.
Coconut shrimp?
Cocaine found in shrimp.
Oh,
Shocking
wow.
study.
Oh, darn. Is this in Kokomo?
A study looking at freshwater marine life in the United Kingdom has an alarming conclusion. Cocaine and illegal pesticides inside the freshwater shrimp. Research looks at the exposure of wildlife, including freshwater shrimp. Although concentrates were low, we were able to identify compounds that might be concern to the environment and, crucially, which might pose a risk to wildlife. Ketamine is a powerful drug that has been used to provide pain and relief and sedation and is often likened to opioids, but is not a member of the opiate family. Samples were tested from 15 different locations across Suffolk, and all of them came back positive for cocaine, which the researcher found surprising. Such regular occurrence of illicit drugs in the wildlife are surprising, said Dr. Barron in a statement. We might expect to see these in urban areas such as London, but not in smaller and more rural catchments. At this time, it's unclear how the cocaine and the banned pesticides entered the shrimp. Further research is needed to determine if it's an issue for Suffolk or if the issue is more widespread. Whether the presence of cocaine in aquatic animals is an issue for Suffolk. And excuse me when I knock Joe out of his chair because he's not making this any easier for me today. So basically, these people are getting their shrimp from the waters, and they're full of cocaine and pesticides. So apparently, it's probably not very safe to swim in that area either. I mean,
Or it's very fun.
so I'm not telling what else is floating.
You know, somebody came in the
body of
bakery
water.
today, and we were talking, and they started talking about the podcast. And I was shocked because she actually listened to it, and she's
Thank you.
a very intelligent woman too. She's a retired teacher. So
Maybe
thank you,
not.
Gloria, for that. But anyway, she said, was Lee an announcer, or did he do something professionally? And now she can see this one, and
She can see that.
no, he has not.
She can see that I just fumble over stuff like everybody else. So,
You guys didn't see
technology,
that,
yeah.
but it was funny.
Technology problems abound today. We're going to go ahead and touch on our last article today. We talked about Star Wars. Maybe some of you watched that video was it this week?
Yeah.
We released it this week, actually. It was National or World Star Wars Day or whatever.
Saturday.
Saturday.
The
Star
4th.
Wars Day.
Right.
I'm sure it was another day that somebody else should have been recognized. My bad if I didn't do a video for you on that. But anyway, the guy that played Chewbacca, I know you're not a big Star Wars fan, but if I say Chewbacca,
I knew
you know
that.
who it is. So.
Well, yeah, if I see the
Pretty
picture.
iconic cinematic character.
Right.
Even if you're not a Star Wars fan, most people know who Chewbacca is, just based on his looks alone. The guy that Peter Mayhew's the guy that played him for the original trilogy and all the newer movies. Even he passed away at 74.
Oh.
So obviously, this comes on the heels of the new Star Wars movie comes out towards the end of this year. I think it's released right before Christmas this year. Typically seems to be when they've been releasing the new ones here lately.
So was he supposed to be in that one, or is it he already acted in it? I don't know how long.
That movie has been shot. It's
Okay.
It's in.
So he was in it.
I'm assuming he was in this one. I'm trying to see if he was in this one or not. It doesn't say if he's. They're kind of tight-lipped about the movies, so they. In today's age, obviously it was easier to keep things a secret when Star Wars first came out in the 70s and 80s than it is now in 2019.
Because we lived in caves back then.
Yeah, so you didn't have the social media. I mean, especially you got your news from your newspaper and
Right.
the news, which I don't know what the ratings look like now or what newspaper sales are now, but
Can't be good.
yeah, I mean you want your information right now. You can just
I can get it from my phone immediately, or I
Right,
can wait
so-
for the paper to come out.
my wife she cracks me up because there's a we even have one for here Peru. It's called Peru Scanner, but it started off as Kokomo Scanner in Kokomo, which is 20 minutes south of here, and basically they have these people that run the Kokomo and Peru Scanner sites. I assume they're the same people, so they listen to their police scanner at home, or an online feed is what it is, I believe, and they listen to the police radio traffic come in, and they post the calls as they come out. They are sensitive, and I believe the people that run it were somehow related to law enforcement before, whether they were dispatchers or
Okay.
jailers or something like that. So they are at least, they'll even post on there that, if it's something that's sensitive to law enforcement to where they feel it is crucial that the public not know what's going on.
Well, then they won't
There'll be a
post it.
delay. They'll post it later after things have,
Okay,
have
good.
slowed down or calmed down. So,
All right.
obviously, I'm sure that KPD and obviously we appreciate that. So, man, they post anything and everything. So, whether it's a wreck or medical or a shooting or stabbing or, traffic lights out here or something like that. If you hear sirens going, you can pretty much log on there and see what's going on pretty quickly. So
I'm just not that curious.
So, but yeah. So anyway, you're asking about him. Is he in the Star Wars? I don't know because they haven't said how many of these iconic characters are coming back for this installment of the movie.
Okay.
His character was still alive at the end of the last one, so I assume he'll be in this.
Okay.
But at his age of 74, by how much he was able to put that outfit on and stuff, I don't know either.
74 is not like it was when I was a kid. 74 is not. I have good friends that are way older than that
Right.
could still do it.
So, but he was a big guy. He was over 7 feet tall. He was like 7'2" or something like
Really?
that. So I guess I don't mean to knock on him by his age of 72. I meant to knock on him at his age of 72 and being that tall because
Right.
obviously when you're that tall, things start to go bad earlier. Your hips, your knees, and stuff like that. So,
I wouldn't know.
Joe's so low to the ground that
yeah.
he'll never have to worry about that stuff.
No,
So,
I'm gonna live forever.
how a guy like him gets a clean bill of health with his heart, the way he eats is. I could kill over now, probably. But yeah, sad news for the Star Wars fans. I'm sure he would have liked to see, because basically this Star Wars movie is the end of the Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. Their story's coming supposedly to a culmination with this movie.
Oh, do people die in this then, or are they or?
Now, again, we don't know. Basically, the director that has taken over the series, this trilogy, I guess, he said that this will bring a culmination to the story that started in 1970, whatever,
Really?
77, 78.
Okay, so it's done finally.
It's supposed to be supposedly the end of the Skywalker family, and they're going to continue to make Star Wars movies eventually because Disney owns Star Wars now, and obviously it's
Okay.
going to be a cash cow. It is a cash cow.
Right.
But they're going to take it in a different direction to where it's not necessarily all related to the Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker story.
So those guys are still alive in all these.
No, Luke, and again, we don't. You will not probably understand it since you've not
No,
watched them
okay.
anyway. But if I say Luke Skywalker, people that
I
have watched,
know what that is.
so you're
Yeah.
at least familiar with the name. The
And
first
Darth Vader, I know.
so the first trilogy revolved around Luke and his father, who turned out to be Darth Vader. Then they came into what they called the prequel trilogy, which kind of led up to understanding how Darth Vader became Darth Vader.
Okay.
And then the very last movie in that series was the birth of Luke Skywalker. Then it turns into this trilogy we've got now, all these years later. And then the last movie, supposedly the Luke Skywalker character passed away, but they didn't really directly say that he passed away. So it's kind of a crapshoot who's going to show up in this movie. As far as Luke Skywalker, Harrison Ford did apparently die in the movie before Luke Skywalker did, but there's been
Oh,
rumors.
and he was Luke Skywalker?
Harrison Ford? No, he played Han Solo.
That's right, okay.
So he got killed off in the first movie in this new trilogy, supposedly. But then, if you read the rumors and stuff, they say that he's going to make a cameo. So
Oh gosh, people always.
nobody ever's really dead in Star
No.
Wars. So,
Well, any movie it's like that. They bring
but
people back.
it
all
is
the
kind of
time.
cool to for people that are fans of that.
That would be
that
cool
series to
because
see
Harrison Ford was
and-
very young
right
in the
I mean,
70s.
and it's kind of funny for Harrison Ford because he's been so adamant, and he's really the only one that went on to have a really successful movie career out of him and Carrie Fisher and Mark Hamill. Not that the others didn't make any movies or TV spots. Or,
I don't know any movies they made. Harrison
right.
Ford's
But Harrison
done
Ford's been
something
huge
else,
in
yeah.
everything he's done, right? So,
Right.
I mean, and really, if you look at it, not only was he iconic in a start as Han Solo, but he was maybe even more iconic as Indiana Jones, right?
Indiana Jones, that's my favorite stuff.
and
That is good stuff.
He's been, he's gone on records of, I don't want to make any more Indiana Jones movies. I don't want to do any more Star
Makes me
Wars
very
movies.
sad.
And I'm not sure why he's so. I don't know if he feels that those roles were beneath him as he got older and did other things. But no matter how many great things he did, whether it was Patriot Games or the Fugitive,
Mm-hmm.
he's been in fantastic roles in about everything he's done.
Right.
And he's a very believable actor, great actor. but I think he'll always be remembered as Han Solo and Indiana Jones.
I think so,
because those
too.
are the roles that made him,
Right.
in my opinion. So,
I wonder if he's listening right now.
I'm sure he is. You know, I'm sure we're real big in
Hey,
California.
Mr. Ford.
Love your work.
You're good.
So,
Thanks for listening.
that's about all the news stories we got for this week. Sorry for the interruptions. I have no idea what that's going to sound like by the time I get done editing. We've
Maybe
lost the
you'll-
audio from the iPad somehow, so it's all going to be on this strictly. Hope it sounds good.
You guys can get some nose extensions. They're beautiful.
Maybe we can do that next week and get some nose hairs popping out.
Yeah. Well, I do that naturally.
I don't know. That was pretty impressive. Those nose
That
hairs.
second picture's nasty.
So, you got anything you'd like to add before we wrap things up this week?
Yeah, thanks to all the nurses, every one of them, every one of the nurses,
Everything
all the
that ends with an
teachers.
N, thank you.
You know, your wife's a nurse, my
She is.
wife's a teacher, you're a police officer. I just make donuts. I kind of feel bad about that right now.
I mean, we need donuts to survive.
Well, you guys do.
Joe needs just Chef Boyardee and some weird looking soup from the grocery store.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and get out of here. We appreciate everybody sticking with us and listening, especially through the technical difficulties we had here today. My
That
apologies.
makes it more fun.
And all my fumbling through the words. Sorry about that.
Well, it's hard when you're drawing.
All that cocaine and the shrimp I ate last night, I guess. All right. We're going to get out of here. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Hope you voted.
Good luck.